Hey all, Pastor Dale here on a beautiful autumn day with a children's book recommendation for you. But first, a note about a post I made months back. A number of you responded by saying, hey, what are your book recommendations? Well, folks, that's a scary proposition. You know, recommending things, whether it's a restaurant or a movie or a children's book. Children are so different. They have different aptitudes and interests. At different ages, they'll enjoy different things. I've been recommending children's books or books generally for a long time. You can go back through my old posts and find many. And that's the easiest way. I can't pull them off of my bookshelf because we haven't saved them. We've given away hundreds of books. So my recommendation is that you look for books that do three things. They have number one, a meaningful purpose. Number two, they have clever text. And number three, creative illustrations. Illustrations are more important for the youngers than the olders, but sometimes great illustrations can really help. Look for books that have been reprinted over many years. Those tend to be time-tested and classics. Be careful about new books that are selling by the pallet at Costco. A lot of times those turn out to be duds or books that are not worth the very high price. I have a word for you about price in a moment. But books with a meaningful purpose, clever text, good illustration. Here's one that packs a punch. It's about $14 new. It's called The Promise. The subtitle, The Amazing Story of Our Long-Awaited Savior. In the ads, it says it traces the story of Jesus from creation to the manger. Get it? From creation to the manger. And it shows how all those characters of the Old Testament point to Jesus in a way better than any book that I can recall at the moment. There will be many adults who will read this and who will realize what was the point of the story of Abraham. What was the point of the story of David? Perhaps for the first time in their lives. The author's name is Jason Helopoulos with an H. The illustrator Ramo Ruiz. He has a very distinctive style. I've recommended other books that he's illustrated. Very well written. Our grandkids love this. My 6-year-old grandson, man, he got this. He had a lot of these types down. He's getting some good teaching. My 7-year-old granddaughter read it quite nicely and easily. This would be a great book to have in advance of Christmas because it takes you right up to, as they said, the manger. What is the point of Jesus's birth in the wake of King David and Abraham and Moses, all of these other ones? Again, it's The Promise by Jason Helopoulos. Another suggestion I have for you is this. We love new books, but they are expensive, and it's nice to have a lot of the things to give your children in these few years that you have with them to read to them. So I got over my fear of thrift shop books. I am a germaphobe, and so that was saying something because some of those thrift shop books are pretty nasty. But you know, when you only pay 50 cents or $1 for a book, you don't care if it's not weighty. You don't care if it's a one and done. Perhaps it's whimsical or silly. Well, you read it once or twice, you let it sit in their collection for a couple of weeks, and then you pass it along. You let a neighbor child take it, or, who cares? When you find a book with a meaty text like this, or some of the others that I've recommended are musts, it's okay to pay $12, $15. But if you can just get over the your fears for these thrift shop books, I would bring them home and wipe the covers down. That made me feel better. Then you don't really care if it's such a important title. But it can be another one that you can enjoy with your children perhaps once or twice. Well, there's my suggestion for you again. A great title to have before Christmas, but one that you'll want to read a couple times a year. God bless and have a wonderful Advent season.